Act 1 starts with FM publicly reciting for a living, but audibly gasping for breath during difficult passages and being struck with a hoarseness that not even his doctors could remedy. So he chose to observe himself in a mirror instead, and in doing so noticed three things that he was doing even in ordinary speaking that were probably causing his problems. The first was that he was pulling his head back, the second that he was depressing his larynx, and the third that he was sucking in breath through his mouth. After some months of this observation, he realized the extent to which he could or could not prevent these three things from happening. For sucking in the breath through his mouth, he concluded that there was no direct way in which he could prevent that, and similarly, no direct way in which he could prevent depressing his larynx. But pulling back the head was in a different category because he could, to some extent, prevent that from happening. Not only that, but preventing his head from coming back acted as an indirect check on sucking in his breath through his mouth, and also as an indirect check on depressing the larynx. So he started off with three things that he observed, but realized that one of those three things, or preventing one of those three things, could work on all three. When he practiced that prevention, he found that his condition improved and therefore concluded that use affects functioning. He experimented for a long period with the position of his head and realized that if he put his head forward beyond a certain point, that was as troublesome as having it back and down, and concluded therefore that the function of his organs of speech was influenced by his manner of using his whole torso. Through a long series of experiments, he concluded that lengthening was better than preventing shortening. And through further experimentation, he came to the conclusion that in order to lengthen, he would have to put his head forward and up, which he referred to as the primary control, but without lifting his chest or narrowing his back. So a combination of preventing and of doing. However, he could not maintain those conditions while speaking or reciting, so he employed two more mirrors, but realized that he was doing the opposite of what he decided. Back to hoarseness.